All right, gents, we are going to talk about the past. What is past? Okay, we all know past is something that you have been through or something that happens in your life many years ago or a week ago or so, or sometimes maybe a day ago. That's what we call past. And now, many times we say, now, when somebody talks about the past, maybe they are stuck, or maybe they don't want to move on. But there are also positive side of the past. There are negative side. There is a negative side, and there is also a positive side in the past. I see past as the school teacher. Personally, for me, I remind myself in my Christian walk with Christ Jesus, with my past, how I used to be and how I am today. So I always reflect on my past to carry on to my future, to get to know Christ, to come closer to Jesus, to have this relationship or renewed relationship. Whenever I come to a place where I feel low in my faith, what happens is I come to myself, and I look at look at to myself, and I said, okay, this is where I am coming from, and this is where I want to go. So I have a goal in my life, but my goal that I have is connected with my past. My past is the bridge to my goal in my Christian walk with Christ Jesus. Now we have a story here in the book of Exodus, not in Exodus, but it started in Exodus, but it goes throughout the last four books of the Israelites' walk with God in the wilderness. So what happens is Israelites walk or were lead out of the slavery of Egypt. And this was God's plan because they cried to God and God wanted to help them as they cry. If you read Exodus 3 from chapter 3 from verse 1 throughout the whole chapter, let's say that way, you could see how God come to Moses in a burning bush and he talks to Moses and says, I've listened to my people's cry. I've seen their affliction. I've seen how tight they are about this place where they are. So they need freedom. And I have made a promise to Abraham, their forefather, Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. So I want them to come out from this land and to a place that I have prepared for their forefathers. And this was the plan. And Moses came and he talked to them about what God has said. And now they are out of Egypt, but in the way they start to reflect on their past, and that was negative because God has a greater plan for you. You could have looked at your past, or they could have looked at their past and said, okay, this is how it was. Our journey to the promised land is this distance. So and we are free because we are not walking, we are not being taskmaster like it was in Egypt. Now we are free people, we can worship God, we are walking, we can talk to our wives and our children. Maybe they could have looked from that side or from that angle, then things could have been fine, could have been okay. Now the reason why they have been living in the wilderness for at least 40 years was because of they take the negative side of their past. They didn't learn or they didn't allow the past to teach them to get closer to Jesus Christ or to God the Father, who was leading them out from the slavery and the misery and afflictions to a place where it's filled with milk and honey. So that was the plan of God for their life.